You trying to dap up the mic? Like, what the fuck?
I've taught my sons that.
Yeah.
And I did put plural.
Yeah.
Because even though he doesn't know how to do it, I'll grab his hand. Yep. My youngest will be like, ha.
Yeah. Oh, he's not saying words first. He's going to know how to dap up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The crispiest of daps.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the Lousy Show.
Welcome back.
Joe.
I'm Sam. I haven't done that on the. Oh no, that's still on the podcast. Never mind. I'm out of order. Yeah. Objection.
Sustained.
Overruled.
What was it?
Hearsay.
Hearsay.
Yeah.
Objection. Hearsay.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, go back and don't.
Yeah,
don't even go. Yeah.
Just don't.
It was a terrible time.
Twas.
Free my boy Johnny.
Yep. Put him back on Pirates.
Facts.
Like, honestly.
He'll never go back.
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't if I was him, because they were so quick to just be like.
Unless they're like.
If they got that fat stat. Yeah.
So here's a blank check for $1 billion.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh. $1 billion? I do a lot of things for $1 billion. I don't think there's many things I wouldn't do for $1 billion.
Same.
I mean, it'd be like, like really bad things I wouldn't do.
Like what?
I'm not going to say really specifically.
Go ahead.
I mean, like killing a lot of people or anything else like that. But
so you wouldn't be most world governments?
No, surprisingly.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good moral high ground.
Yeah. I hate those takes.
Yeah. It's very male take of you.
Yeah. I know. It's terrible.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're on one.
This is where we're at.
I think it's because we just had a very serious conversation.
And now
we're just need to joke it out.
Like, we have filled up this meter, and this is desperately like,
look out. It's been edging ourselves on jokes.
Put the squirt emoji down below because engagement. Mm-hmm. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. Lousy listeners, thank you so much again for tuning in. And as always, if you would like to, there's this awesome join button. Yep. You should join into the Lousy memberships.
The Lousy listeners. Oh.
Get you a dope little, little emblem, L. Little L by your name, little neon red L. And then some awesome emotes. And you get prioritization for commenting. We see all those out there, so we appreciate you. Mm-hmm. So make sure to do that. It's only $2.99 if you want to join.
$2.99.
Yeah, $2.99 a month. You
can't even get a cup of coffee for that anymore.
No.
Like, honestly.
Can't even get a burger for that anymore.
Yeah, you could, but it's like
after tax.
Like after tax, it's. I mean, a McDouble's still what, like $1.80.
No.
$2.
No. It's like $2.59 now.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I don't.
Inflation, dog.
Yeah.
The world is not healing.
No. Mm-mm.
Dude, we had 24-hour Walmarts and McChickens. We had it all.
Now Walmart closes. How dare they?
And now we have to pay $3 and some change for McDoubles and McChickens, dude. What do you do?
I don't know, man. Move to Antarctica. Words.
See, but then Godzilla's going to burst out of the ice down there.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping for personally. Like, just put it to an end.
Fair. I wonder. It makes me really wonder. Like, so Antarctica. We've heard about the ice caps melting. Has Antarctica been melting too?
That's one of the ice caps.
Oh, the ice cap. Sorry, the northern ice cap. Sorry, the northern ice cap.
It's not exclusive to the northern one, just to let you know.
So Antarctica. Well, I mean, like
that's South Pole.
So I wonder what happens when that just melts. Is there island down there?
There's land down there, not much, but there's some. Yeah.
I wonder if you could live there.
I mean, people do technically.
Well, scientists.
Yeah, but
they don't live there. They're not like.
There's some people that live there 6 months out of the year.
But I'm talking about they're not expanding.
I mean, there's more scientists showing up.
Is there a McDonald's?
Probably not.
See, exactly. Yeah. World's not healing.
I mean,
is there a Dollar General?
Probably. Yeah.
If we see one of those, world's healing.
No, I mean, well, I don't think Dollar General is the sign of the world healing, because Dollar General, it's more than just $1 for the shit there.
Oh shit, yeah, right. Dollar Tree though.
When any dollar store actually sells something for $1 that's not chapstick, then I'll believe that the world is healing.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah, we're not. It's not happening anytime soon.
What was today's topic?
Definitely not what we're talking about, like what we've been talking about. We've just been on one.
Subscribe, drop an emoji for engagement, or comment as we go.
No.
Is the world healing? Comment that. There you go.
No, but Joe, today's topic, I'll tell you.
Yeah, because I forgot.
We had a episode about engagement with Am I the Asshole?
Yes.
So we decided, we're both married men. We proposed to our significant others.
Yeah.
One, we'll tell our stories, and then two, give like a quick little, we give advice. We love giving advice on this channel. So
we haven't given advice in a while.
We have not given advice in a while. So for the discerning gentleman or lady or whoever wants to propose to their significant other.
For the guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's one way to say it. Let's give them a little bit of advice. Tell them how, say where we had our fuck ups and how to, by the way, Joe just had the flu. So
yeah. Yep.
So he's getting over that. So, So yeah, anyway, that's our topic today. Are you good?
Much better, yes.
All right, cool. Got all the phlegm.
The phlegm.
The phlegm.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, so would you like to tell your story first, or do you want me to tell my story first?
You go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I proposed to my wife in December of 2020.
In Antarctica.
And not quite, but kind of close, I guess, or something.
That's not close at all.
There was snow involved, so
okay.
Just okay, just all right.
Just keep going.
So, I had decided I was going to propose to her. I just never really figured out how. So, like, I had bought the ring and I had it for like a pretty good amount of time, and then we were going up for her birthday to go visit her brother who lives in Washington State, so he lives just on the southern border of it, like right on the other side of the river from Portland. And I was like, well, she does really love it up there. Like that's like her favorite place in the world. So figured, why not do it there? I was debating on doing it at their house because they have a really nice property. Like it's got a gorgeous view of Mount Hood out there. And I was like, well, she always likes the view of the mountain. What if we just go on the mountain and then do it there? And so that was my like kind of initial thought, but I decided to enlist her brother in helping me. And that's where I fucked up because like I don't make plans. Like my wife is very much the type A, like she makes all the plans. I'm just there following along. And so I enlisted his help because I knew him, but didn't know him, like he seemed to have his shit pretty well figured out for the most part. So I was like, yeah, let me enlist his help. He lives in the area too, so if he had any other ideas, and he had spitballed a couple other ones, like there's a really nice waterfall out there that I could have potentially done it at, but so I enlisted his help, and he's not a planner either, at all, and so we come up with a plan, and basically the plan was like, let's frame it as, what do we want to do today? Oh, let's go up to Mount Hood. That'd be dope. And so he posed the question when we were all gathered in the morning because we were staying at their house. So and her mom and dad were there too. So we're like, oh, what do we want to do today? And then they started talking. And then I was like, oh, how about we go to the mountain? That one that we're looking at right now or something like that. And he's like, yeah, actually, that's a great idea. Everybody else agreed? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's do it. And so like, it was just like, we came up with the idea. We didn't let anybody else. And
solid play.
Yeah. Her best friend too had tried to tell me, because she knew, had tried to say like to make sure that she gets her nails done. I'm like, if I tell her she's immediately gonna know. And by the way, she already immediately knew the second him and I were trying to come up with the plan. She was like, oh, it's happening today. And so we drive out there and have it with me. And it's wintertime. It's in December. And snow's up on the mountain. And at first I was worried because like the drive was a little sketch, but we got it up there. And at the top of that mountain, or just about the top, there's a ski resort, and the lodge that's up there, the hotel, that's the exterior shot for The Shining hotel, which is dope, by the way. Like it's super fucking cool. And I was like, oh, that's cool. We like movies, you know. She'll kind of like that too. I was tempted to do it inside, but they wouldn't let us go in because I was like COVID was still pretty prevalent. And so then it was just like we were walking around, and I was like trying to figure out like the best place to do it. And then and we kind of go to this one spot where like it looked really nice, and I was like, yeah, good enough. And it wasn't like completely on the ski slope, but it was partially on the ski slope, and then also kind of in the parking lot of the hotel. But it was a little weird. But I was like, yeah, that's good enough. So then I got him to start recording, but he didn't actually start recording until I got up. So we got the last bit of it, and the pictures were being taken at least. Good. So, but yeah, so we got the last little bit of it. I proposed. She said yes, and we had talked about getting married. So like, it wasn't like, it was weird though. I was still nervous, even though we'd already talked about it, and I knew like 100% that she would say yes. I don't know why, but I was still like super nervous about it. I guess just the act of doing it or something. I don't know, but yeah, got down on the knee, got my jeans a little wet because it was in the snow, and then yeah, so then he got a kind of somewhat shitty video, but it's good enough. And the photos were really good though afterwards. And what's funny too is going back in time a little bit, I went to go ask her dad for like her hand, right? You know, because they're not super traditional, but they are Catholic. So I figured, I was like, yeah, let me do this just to be certain. Now he's Samoan, so he's not traditional in very many ways, but I went and asked him, and he's like, what? And I was like, I just, you know, want to know if it's cool that, you know, I asked Linda to marry me. And he's like, what the fuck are you asking me for? And then so fast forward back to the proposal, he had walked off. Like he didn't see it happen until afterwards. And then
that's funny as fuck. Knowing him, I'm seeing this. Mm-hmm. That is funny as fuck.
Because we also had, so her brother's kids were there too. And so like he was just kind of like corralling them a little bit, but you know, so they were just off playing like a few feet away. But you know, I was trying to get like everybody involved with it at least a little bit. Nope.
Yeah.
Although I will say I purposely did not tell her mom because she would have absolutely spoiled it. And 100%. So she was a little hurt by afterwards, but I was like, Marion, you would have told her. She's like, no, I wouldn't. I was like, Marion. And she's like, okay, yeah, probably.
There would have been no doubt. Like, has he done it yet?
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, so let me see your hand. What for? What? So yeah, that was mine. So a few little fuck ups there, but otherwise everything went really well. So it was a good experience overall.
To tell you mine, I have to give you a little bit of backstory first. So when my wife and I started dating, we made it very clear to one another that we would never make a decision if it seemed stressed.
Yeah.
If it was natural, it felt right, we would do it. We were together for a few months. We moved in together, lived together for a few months, which I will, and we've talked about this before, 1000% recommend.
Move in before you propose.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's step number one. Yeah.
It will teach you if you can live with that individual.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because you cannot get out.
Yeah. I mean, you can, but.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Divorce is a thing.
But, true. No, I'm saying if you cannot live with them, get out.
Oh, that, okay, yeah.
There's a comma there.
Yeah. It sounded like a full sentence.
If you cannot get out.
Yeah.
But no, so I remember this is October. And for those who don't know, and I don't even know if you know this, you might. I love DC architecture and history.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Washington DC.
Washington DC. Yeah. I've read, like, I even read books about it, like for secrets and like the architecture and symbolism and things like that. Like I love the ideas behind it and I guess you could say like the the mystery.
So basically, National Treasure sparked your interest, and then you never stopped ever since.
No, I actually liked it before that, but I do love those movies.
Mm-hmm.
I do love those. Hey, look, Nicolas Cage,
Great. And that,
my man.
people say it's shitty. No, it's not.
No,
it's
both movies are fantastic.
Yeah, first one's definitely better than the second, but
yeah.
The
second one was a little bit rushed. Anyways,
a little bit.
So I made the decision. Like I'd already bought the ring. Actually, we bought the ring together.
Yeah, I went there.
Yep. And because you were in town visiting, and I bought the ring, and I decided that I was going to propose on a trip that we were taking up there. Now, this particular trip was a very, very busy trip. Okay. So the trip consisted of this particular week, we got Last Minute Asked, that band that I've talked about playing with before. We got Last Minute Asked to play a show with 10 Years and Red.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big show.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see either of them because we played, and then she and I immediately got in the car to go to DC. Now, here's the problem. We didn't get to spend the whole week in DC because the next day I was in a wedding in Maryland.
Mm.
So we had to drive out to this wedding for some friends. Love y'all. Ethan and Sarah, love y'all to death. We had to go to this wedding. And while we're there, I mean, we're dressed to the nines. We're looking crispy, having a good time.
Mm.
Everybody's dancing, having a great time. And I remember that night, she and I had a moment where she was kind of like in this anxious like funk because she didn't know many people.
Mm.
And she just felt like kind of like in this weird box. And so I remember we left, and when we left, like we drove back that night, got back to downtown DC where we were staying. We were actually staying in Chinatown, right near the National Mall. And we get back, and for those who don't know, DC nightlife starts at like 1 a.m.
Damn.
I'm used to it starting at like 8 p.m. So we get back at around midnight, and everyone's at the place that we're staying. Everyone's like already dressed up, ready to go out. And we're like, what's happening? And they're like, we're going to the bar. Are you coming? And we're like, and mind you, I'm thinking next day I'm going to be conscious enough to, do what I got to do. Mm. So I'm like, I guess so. So we changed clothes. And we ended up going out to this pub, and I'm like, it was like a pub club kind of thing, basement to this building, and we found out that like essentially the local college, I think it's Howard, I think is what's out there, Howard University.
There's a few, but yeah, I think that's one of them.
That one, whichever was closest, was like they had just finished like I guess midterms or something like that, and so they were partying. The entire street was shut down. Mm-hmm. This place, I couldn't move. I couldn't even I had one beer, and I was there for 3 hours.
Good God.
Yeah. So, almost got into a fight with somebody at the McDonald's. Like it became a rough night real fast. I was the sober one leading the drunks. We get back next morning, get up, and I grab me some breakfast, grab me some Gatorade and whatnot. And I'm nervous. I'm nervous because now we're going walking on the National Mall. Now the plan was, if you've never been to the National Mall, like the ending of the walk, if you will, before you turn is the Lincoln Memorial. And then before that is the World War II Memorial. And before that is, I think it's the long walk up to the Congress building, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to, if I'm in my head picturing it correctly. No, sorry. I'm missing the giant erect penile figure, if you will, the Washington Monument.
There it is.
Forgot about the giant penis in the sky. But yes, so Washington Monument, and then you walk past the long grass where a lot of people hang out and like play soccer and frisbee and whatnot. And then you get to the World War II Memorial with all the fountains, and then the Lincoln Memorial. And we started up above that, like where we walked in at was like kind of right at where the Washington Monument is. And so before we left, I'm like, of course, our friend who was there, she was in on it, and my wife's sister was there who was in on it. And they were like, oh, well, we should get all dressed up and take pictures. It'll be a beautiful day, da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. It's crazy that I randomly packed this button-up shirt here that I never wear. And so, like, I had that, and I was like, oh, it's crazy. I even brought my sports coat. Don't know where that came from.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And so my wife, she, beautiful, had this beautiful top on. She wore these, like, high-waisted jeans. She's looking good. But they tried to tell her not to wear heels. She wouldn't listen. And this was a hike. This was a 3.5 mile hike.
Ooh.
This woman had blisters the size of $50 on her feet. It was nuts.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching the video so far. While you're here, click the subscribe button to become a Lousy listener. And also click that join button. For $2.99, you can have access to exclusive emotes and also get some cool features like interacting with Joe and I. Also, click the link in the description to join our Discord. Back to the video.
So, but she was insistent. So we're walking, and of course, me being Mr. Tourist, I'm like, oh, look at it. Taking pictures. And the plan, again, was for me to propose at the Lincoln Memorial. Well, the plan was when we got there, her sister was going to take her to the bathroom, like, oh, hey, I got to go pee, come with me, kind of thing. And when she comes back, I was going to be standing on the stairs holding a sign that says, will you marry me?
Mm-hmm.
And as we get up to the World War II Memorial, we walk in, and if you know what it looks like, the side we walked in on was this big, like, I can't think of what the structure's called, but it's just this big opening, and it opens at both sides and ramps down, and then you're at the fountains. And we get to the entrance, and she goes, man, it'd be really cool if someone proposed here. And I went, yeah, and walked away from her. and she was just like, oh, okay, weird, cool. So she walks on down to the fountains. I walk over to our friend, and I was like, red alert, red alert, red alert.
Audible.
Yeah. And so she like, I tell her what she just said. She goes and tells her sister. And as we start walking to the Lincoln Memorial, her sister's like, oh, I got to go pee. And they dart up to the bathroom. You then see our friend go, run. And we turn around and sprint back to the World War II Memorial. And we get there. And now, mind you, I'm wearing a button-down shirt, and I'm big. So I am sweating now. And my back is drenched. So I had to wear my jacket, which makes it even hotter. But I had the sign, and initially I was going to hold it. And when she came down the ramp, I was like, hey. But instead, at the fountains, they have stairs that go down into the water, kind of like a pool does. And so the first step is the top one, of course. The next one is dry. The next one's wet. And then, you're under the water. So what I did was I took the sign, and I stuck it on the dry step right up against the edge, where she couldn't see it until she walked up to the edge of the water. So I'm standing there, and I'm looking at the water and looking at the fountains, and she comes back, and I hear them talking, and she goes, what are y'all doing back here? And she goes, her friend goes, oh, well, he said he wanted to come back and look at the fountains. Like, he didn't get a chance to really, like, look at them. And I hear her go, well, I'm sitting the fuck down. And she just sits down, and I was like, oh, shit. And so I had to walk over, and I was like, baby, you should come look at this with me. I see something in the water. And she goes, no, I'm not getting up. And I went, baby, you should absolutely come check this out. And she goes, I'm not getting up for anything. And I went, you really should. It's important. And she goes, and to this point still doesn't know. She goes, yeah, fine. We walk on over. And as soon as we get there, I went, oh, look. And she looks down, doesn't go, oh my God, I love you. None of that. And she goes, I fucking knew it. And I remember that to this day, she just screaming that in my face and then staring back at her friends like, I knew it. I told you. I knew it. And then by the time she turns back, she looks and I'm not there. And she's like, huh? oh, and that's when it set in like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
And that's when I asked, like, you know, will you marry me? And me forgetting that we're in a public place, when she said yes, and I put the ring on her finger, the entire area erupts in cheers. And I was just like, oh shit, my bad. Like, I forgot we were here. Like,
I like how everybody here is just hearing her saying, I fucking knew it.
Yeah, exactly. And so like the part where I think I fucked up was like, I was in my head envisioning that Lincoln Memorial, but I'm glad I had friends who were able to like help me audible that back. Yeah. And then we ended up taking like such like cute photos on the way back. It was really cool. But like, it's a special place for us because whenever we go back to visit, we can always go back to that one spot and be like, hey, look, this is where, you know, we can take our kids there. Yeah. You know, and be like, hey, this is where mom and dad got engaged. Like, and like I will say I'm very happy that it worked out in her favor because after that she finally got to sit down to rest her feet because she was, oh God, I felt so like, admittedly it was self-inflicted wounds, but she 1000% needed to sit down because she was like, I'm talking, her heels were effed. On the way home, I remember because when we got back, we celebrated for a moment. We went and got food. Everything was cool. And then we hit the road to head back because it was like a 4 to 5 hour drive with traffic. And on the way back, I remember her like putting her feet up like against the dash just for a second to like rub her heels. And I just see these giant red circles. I was like, oh, I felt so bad. I just turned the AC on blast. I was like, turn the vent towards her feet. Like,
duty is pain.
Right. Yeah. But I will say, because I know we said we were going to like give some tips here. Yeah. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. And it's very, very simple when it comes to proposing. I'm a firm believer in, still to this day, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Mm-hmm.
Like if it feels pressured or feels rushed, like if your partner's family is trying to push you to do it or whatever, like don't do it. No, it's not worth. Like you do it when you're ready. Mm-hmm. And even then, like when you are ready to do it, don't overstress it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be elaborate. Of course, you know, you and your partner will have different ways of doing things, but so some people might like it more elaborate. And if you do, that's fine. But that's gonna complicate things. If something goes wrong, like, oh, this would be a great place to propose, then then you have to be able to think on your feet, I guess you could say. But yeah, just keep it simple. Do it.
Well, even something small, like to the elaborate side of the fact, like what we kind of did was elaborate. But even for me, like to this day, that sign that was made for her, still hangs up in our living room. It's a symbol of that day that we have together. Yeah, we have a bunch of pictures. We have the whole story, but we have that sign, and that sign it will last a very long while, and we'll be able to keep that wherever we go. But like elaborate, I don't think elaborate is a bad thing. Yeah. I think to your point, it needs to be something that you both will remember.
Yeah, you'll know how you want to do it. Yeah, for the other person, right? Yeah. So like, because I know, like I said, that's her favorite place in the world. She loves mountains and snow and trees, right? I was like, well, let's go to the top of that fucking mountain, and so we can see all the other ones. Yep. And so after the fact, she was like, yeah, I knew you were gonna fucking do it. Yeah. Because y'all don't plan anything. And so my hindsight was just, would try to just make it more of a nonchalant thing or get her to come up with the idea. Yeah. Kind of thing. But not that it really matters. It's kind of more just a funny story now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's a fond memory that we have. So yeah, I guess that's the number, like that's the next tip is you'll know how to do it. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but if you want it to be crazy, because that's how y'all are, then that's totally fine.
Yep. So, yep. I think my other tip is like if you want it to just be y'all, cool. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do not be afraid to ask for help, because especially if it comes down to like that individual can keep that secret. Yeah. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like I am thankful that our friend and her sister were able to keep that secret and kind of like tackle that with me. because it was a very busy weekend, and admittedly, without their help, I think that wouldn't have gone as smoothly as I had hoped. But just being able to ask for help in those situations, I've had friends who have gotten like, I know back where we're from, there's this beautiful parkway that runs to the mountains, and like I've had a few friends who've gone up there, and like they'll have like surprise photographers waiting, like, hey, I just need you to be up there ready to go, like in this event. Hey, can you go set this up before we get there? That kind of thing. Like those things are smart. Like,
yeah,
I'll tell you this. The first time I proposed, because I've been engaged twice.
I was there for the first one.
Oh my God. I got to tell the story.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
I shouldn't have done it.
No,
I should not have done it. But I trusted, I asked him for help. I trusted him. He ended up banging his girlfriend on my kitchen table.
I mean, that was after. Like, to be fair, I was still there.
So, it was New Year's Eve, and it was me and her and you and your ex, and just us. And I remember telling you that I was going to do it, and my initial thought was to do it at, as the ball dropped. It was
no.
But
start the year off right.
Yay. And I did it.
Yep.
I fell over.
We were
hammered,
wasted,
fucked, floored. There was no way we could have been standing. Like, there's no reason we should have been vertical.
No.
And me being on one knee trying to balance was horrible. But the worst part was like, I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm gonna drop to my knee and she's gonna turn and be like, oh my God, ah. And she never fucking turned around.
Yeah, she just kept staring at
the TV. And I remember I dropped to my knee and I'm like holding the ring and waiting. And it took you going, and her going, huh? Oh my God. And then when she did, I was like, will you? And like, and just, and as I fell over, I dropped the ring. I dropped the freaking ring. And so I had to like find it, scramble real quick. And then by the time I got back up, the ball had already dropped. And I was like, will you marry me?
Yeah.
Like, and of course she said yes at the time. And that happened. But I there's no reason I should have done that at that time. Like,
no,
even though, well, admittedly, because of what had happened before that.
Well, yeah, but
we'll leave that out of the story.
Yeah, we don't need to do a postmortem of that whole relationship, but that'd be a very long episode.
So what I would say is, please be of conscious mind when you go to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you can
have a couple drinks, then you sure.
Yeah.
Don't be wasted.
We did shots, and then afterwards,
we destroyed a case by ourselves.
Yeah, and just me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we played Kings after.
Yeah.
And then I broke your sister's bed too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your mom was not happy with me.
No.
Yeah.
I remember. I'm not going to give detail, but I remember my then fiance falling asleep and me going, man, I got to take a piss. I opened my bedroom door to walk across the hall, and I just from the dining room hearing noises, and I was like,
the table was much more solid than your sister's bed.
and I remember just standing there kind of like, hell yeah. Just walk into the bathroom. But yeah, definitely be of sound mind.
Yep.
It is highly recommended. I mean, when you're making that stuff, I mean, it's gonna be a big step regardless.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that being of sober mind is definitely important. So that way you're like,
yeah,
you could at least say the words and not, lose the ring.
Yeah.
But no, I think like we've hit the most important parts of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I might recommend. If you're buying a ring, measuring is important. If they have existing rings, you can go off of that. Makes it nice and easy. My wife did not, so I had to measure her finger. while she was sleeping. Fortunately, she's a very heavy sleeper. So I could have moved her entire fucking body and she probably wouldn't have woke up. But I had a piece of twine that I like wrapped around, and I did it like, I think over the course of 2 weeks, I did it like 5 times just to like be 100% certain that I got it right. And it was still a little big, but I because she was like between sizes, so I didn't want to go on the smaller side just in case it didn't fit right. So that's another tip. Make sure it at least goes on the finger. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly right, but it helps. But yeah, that was interesting.
Or
just
take your girlfriend shopping.
I mean, yeah, but you could do that. I didn't want to, like, I like surprises. I didn't want her to even, like, I know we'd already talked about it, but like, I didn't want her to know that it was
I did mine a few months in advance.
Yeah.
So she had no idea.
Oh, no.
It had escaped her mind.
It would not have escaped my wife's mind.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing how analytical she is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, she would have been thinking about that every single day. Like, You doing it? You doing it? You doing it?
When's it happening? When's it happening?
Yeah. So there's 2 ways to do that.
Yeah.
Either secret agent man or just be like, hey, honey, let's go shopping.
Mission Impossible, dangled from the ceiling, tied the thing around. Yeah. I remember I was holding my breath too. Because like, even though she's a heavy sleeper, I was like, super careful.
Imagine she woke up to you doing that.
She did at one point not wake up, but she started moving. And I remember like I was standing up kind of over her and I just jumped and like landed on the other side of her and pretended I was
as if she wouldn't have felt that.
She didn't wake up to my benefit, but yeah.
Boing, like
I mean, we have one of those memory foam mattresses, so it doesn't transfer motion very well, but but no, I had to jump and I was like pretending to be asleep. And I waited for the snoring to start again.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then I like rolled over and yeah, that's why I did it a bunch of times. Cause like I never got like a fully clean, put the twine on, mark where it's at, take it off and measure it.
Yeah.
And then do the conversion. So yeah.
I swear, dude.
Yeah.
Or do that.
Yep. It's fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was scary, but it was fun. Yeah.
And honestly, getting engaged should be fun.
It was.
It is a lot of fun. I will say, how was your post engagement? How long were you engaged?
1.5 years.
Okay, so we originally planned on being engaged for a year, and then we backed it up to we were supposed to get married in September.
Yeah,
and we backed it up to April. It's a good thing we did, because I accidentally knocked up my wife.
Whoops.
It was her fault. But no, like we definitely, it was like she was like getting ready for the wedding. She's like, I think I'm gonna come off of birth control because I want to try to lose some weight. Like, okay, cool. I respect that. Like 100% it's your body. Do you think? Yeah. And I was like, hey, we need to be better because I don't even know how I'll pull out of a driveway, let alone, and she was like, okay. And then,
oops.
Ta-da! Like,
and on top of that, you found out at your bachelor party.
That is a story for another day.
That's another story. But yeah, I remember we were all in the hotel room and I just roll over like,
yeah.
Safe to say, plans changed. But
that was well, we will have to talk about that on a different episode for sure, because that's a story in and of itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I will say, like, the lead up, I think the lead up to the proposal was fun.
Yeah.
For me, and I say this from personal experience, there were a lot of moments where I was just like, okay, I'd rather us just go elope at the fucking courthouse.
Yeah. The wedding planning part's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Fortunately, like I said, she's type A. She knew exactly what she wanted to do, and she would consult me. And, like if I wasn't cool with it, but there wasn't anything that I was going to really say no to for her, because like it's theoretically you only get one of those, right? So,
they say,
yeah. So, ended up like I would have done things maybe slightly different, but
Yeah.
that's like had AC. That'd have been nice. But, yeah.
Would have been nice.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hot night.
Yeah. May in Austin's hot to say the least. But
man, I'm glad that top deck had a good breeze. That's all I can say. I stayed up there.
Yeah. We got married on a boat on one of the lakes here. And it was cool, but it was 96 degrees and there was 2 boats available. I thought we had, and she thought as well, to her credit, that we had rented the one with the inside with the AC. Nope. There was no AC. There was a shop cooling fan.
They were industrial shop fans.
Yeah, and that helped. But once the boat was moving and you went on the top deck, there was a really nice breeze. Get a couple drinks and you're fine.
Yeah, and we just told the DJ start playing the music. We just danced up there like.
What
crazy.
do you mean the DJ? We were the DJ.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we just had a playlist.
Yeah, that was it. No, I think we've hit all the points.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We'll definitely have to tell that story though.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we could do like a. I was just because I didn't have a bachelor party, so I don't know. I couldn't really.
Not for lack of trying.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was my decision. That was not on you. Yeah.
That was definitely a multiple conversations and finally going, do you even want one? You went, no. And I went, thank you. But no, we'll definitely talk about that. I guess future episode will be bachelor parties or or just the mine in particular.
Yeah.
That one.
It was fun.
The monkeys.
Yeah.
the monkeys. Anyways, if you liked what you've seen, comment down below if you've gotten engaged. Tell us your proposal story in the comments.
I'm sure there's some wild ones out there.
Yeah, we'd love to hear them. Heck, we'll even read them. And as you know, we'll comment back. So, let us know in the comments what crazy stories you have. Of course, like the video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and join the Lousy listeners. We greatly appreciate everybody who has. We're going to get out of here. There's a button behind me to click to subscribe, and a video that YouTube recommends you click to watch next. But until we post again, bye-bye.
Bye.